Hi, Dr. Eric Westman here with my top 10 tips on starting keto right. But first, be sure to check out my new pamphlet. It's called 5 Things You Need to Know About Cancer and Metabolic Disease. See it in the link in the description below. Number 1 tip for starting keto right is to understand what keto means. Keto is not a food. Keto is not a brand name. Keto is not a license to eat whatever is called keto. Keto is a metabolic state. Keto means ketosis. It comes from the term ketosis, which really means fat burning. So the most important thing, I think, to start keto right is to understand that there's no such thing as keto food. Ketosis is a metabolic state of fat burning, and that's what you're trying to achieve. Hang on and I'll show why that becomes important in just a minute. Number 2 is keep the carbs super low. So the main thing about a keto diet is not consuming a certain type of food or oil or avoiding a certain thing. The main important thing is to keep the carbs very low. So if the dietary carbohydrate is very low, your body is able to burn its own fat. And then ketones are generated from your own body fat. So a natural ketosis diet really is one that focuses on eating things that are low in carbohydrates and of course nutritionally sound. Number 3, count total carbs, not net carbs. The reason for that is that the net carbs can be absorbed and can affect the metabolism, even though when you use the net carb calculation, it's assumed that they don't affect the metabolism. So I've always used total carbs in my clinic because also it's more precise. You're not assuming that the fiber isn't absorbed or assuming that the sugar alcohol isn't going to impact the metabolism. So count total carbs, and most people will want to be under 20 to 30 total carbs for the day. Not per meal, but for the day. Now, tip number 4, choose the food that you like from a list of proteins, and we have it all on our method of teaching on one sheet of paper. But the meat, poultry, fish and shellfish and eggs are excellent sources of nutrition. They're super low in carbs, and you can eat what you like among these foods. Everyone has a different type of food they like. I learned recently there's a certain brand of moist and fatty brisket locally, that the brisket and collard greens in this area at this one particular place, I could live on that. It's so good. But you might not like that. That's okay. You choose from the proteins, choose the ones that you like. Tip number 5, protein comes first on a keto diet, not fat. So many people have been taught that keto means adding oils, adding fats, and over-consuming fats. You need to drink ketones to get ketones and oil. No, you don't. Remember, keto is a metabolic state achieved by keeping the carbs super low. Your body burns fat and generates the ketones internally. So protein comes first. Prioritize protein. Next, clean out the pantry. Clean out the refrigerator. Get rid of the carbs. If you're just starting, give yourself a break. I mean, if you're quitting smoking and there's a cigarette around, you're going to find that cigarette and smoke it. Very similar to carbs. If you're quitting carbs and you have a tendency, almost addiction to the carbs, give yourself a break by not having the carbs around. So clean out the pantry, clean out the refrigerator as you get started. We recommend that you get rid of all of the carbs on one day to give yourself a chance to make that break. It's a little easier to do it all in one fell swoop. Next tip, number 7, avoid keto junk foods. Right, so if it says great for keto diet today in 2023, that generally means that it's not good for a keto diet. If it says great for a keto diet, or even brands that say keto blank, keto ice cream, keto pork rinds, keto, make sure you look at those total carbs, not net carbs, total carbs. And if it says keto on it, be careful, be cautious. Now, they might be okay, depending on your carb level, but don't automatically think that they're okay because they have the term keto on it. Remember, there's no keto food. It's a metabolic state achieved by keeping the carbs very low. So number 8, don't measure ketones. I know, that seems strange, right? Actually, by keeping the carbs really low, you're going to be in ketosis. And so I don't recommend that you measure urine or blood or breath ketones now. All of those are available, and you can, but it complicates things. And people come to me saying, I got tired of measuring, the finger prick or the measure of the breath or urine. No, so you don't have to measure ketones, just keep the carbs super low. Don't use an app. I know, it seems weird when all these keto apps and one specifically designed and you get to know your macros and all that. No, don't count macros. Don't use an app that overly complicates things. And that is a recipe for not having a long-term relationship with a dietary pattern. If it's difficult and complicated, you're just not going to keep it up. The main thing is finding foods you love among the low-carb, keto allowed foods and choose things that you can live with for a while. That's what makes it sustainable. Next one, number 9, following the teaching of someone who used the keto diet for the same purpose you want to use it for. All too often I'm seeing people come in thinking that this influencer who was in the gym and pounding the oils and never had to lose weight, but they're trying to lose weight. The other person is using the keto diet for a different purpose than what you're trying to use it for. So if you're trying to lose weight, reverse type 2 diabetes, which is the work that I do in my clinic, you want to follow an influencer or a teaching that actually is one that's using a keto diet for this purpose. So if I asked you to have lots and lots of fat in the oils and the drinks and unlimited amounts of cheese and mayonnaise and all, then you would be hard pressed to burn your body fat because you're getting so much fat in the food. So beware of how and why the influencer is teaching. That is a common mistake I see. There are a lot of versions of keto today. You want to use one that's designed for the purpose you're looking to use it for. Finally, fast food restaurants, fine, don't stress. Just avoid the carbs, keep the carbs super low. I've had people who only could eat at fast food restaurants for whatever reason, locality, cost, preference, they're almost addicted to that food. It's okay. Just avoid the carbs, keep the carbs super low. You get into a keto, nutritional ketosis metabolic state by keeping the carbs low wherever you get the food. Those are my top 10 tips as of 2023, and I hope that's helpful. If you find it helpful, click like and the notification bell, and why not send this to a friend? This is a grassroots movement after all. This video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check out adaptyourlifeacademy.com.